examining the restricted video's time left behind. You are watching Bodycam Story Vault. Records unsealed.
Sir, we need to speak with you. May we come inside?
What's this about? I'm busy right now.
We received a report regarding your daughter's iPad. Some concerning files were uploaded to the cloud.
Her iPad? I don't know what you're talking
Sir, the service provider flagged the content and contacted us. We have a warrant.
This is a mistake.
Kayla Thornton, 18 years old, borrowed her little sister's school iPad to look up a recipe. She found something else in the hidden photos folder. Bruises, injuries, timestamps that matched the hours she was at work when Maya was alone with their father. Kayla had been Maya's protector since their mother died 3 years ago. She had deferred college to stay home, worked as a CNA to help with bills, made sure Maya got to school, did her homework, ate dinner. She thought she was keeping her sister safe. She wasn't. Gregory Thornton had been hurting Maya whenever Kayla wasn't there. The 10-year-old had been hiding it, too scared to tell, too ashamed to show the bruises her big sister would have noticed. Kayla didn't confront her father, didn't warn him. She did exactly what her instincts told her. She documented everything on that iPad, photographed Maya's current injuries with her own phone, called the Plano Police Department, and cooperated with Detective Sergeant Angela Matthews to build a case that would put her father away for 25 years. The man who was supposed to protect them both discovered that his oldest daughter had become the one thing he never expected, a witness he couldn't silence. Subscribe to the channel before we continue. Stories like this need to be told. Tuesday afternoon, Kayla Thornton stood in the kitchen of their Plano home, Maya's iPad propped against the backsplash. She had been planning to make Maya's favorite, chicken Alfredo, their mother's recipe, the one comfort food that still connected them to the woman who had died 3 years ago. Her phone was dead. The iPad was right there on the counter. Maya was at soccer practice. Their father was at work. Simple. Borrow the iPad. Look up the recipe she couldn't quite remember. She opened Safari, then paused. The Photos app showed a notification, a number she hadn't seen before. Hidden folder. 47 items. Curiosity. Nothing more. She tapped it. The first image stopped her breath. Maya's arm. A bruise the size of a fist. Purple and yellow. Timestamp. Tuesday, 4:47 p.m. Kayla scrolled. Maya's back. A mark that could only come from a belt. Timestamp. Thursday, 5:12 p.m. Maya's shoulder. Red welts. Timestamp. Saturday, 3:33 p.m. 47 images. 47 injuries. 47 timestamps. Every single one matched the hours Kayla was at work. She put down the iPad, walked to the bathroom, vomited. Then she walked back to the kitchen, picked up the iPad, and started thinking like the person she had become in the 3 years since her mother died. The protector. Kayla had been 18 for 3 months. Valedictorian candidate. Accepted to UT Arlington's nursing program. She had deferred admission for a year to stay home, to help with bills, to take care of Maya, to hold together a family that had shattered when cancer took their mother. She worked 25 hours a week as a CNA at Sunrise Senior Living. Minimum wage. Backbreaking work. But it kept groceries in the refrigerator and helped cover Maya's soccer fees. She had thought she was doing enough. She wasn't. Her 10-year-old sister had been documenting her own abuse, photographing injuries in secret, building an evidence file she was too scared to show anyone. Maya had been suffering in silence, protecting Kayla from the knowledge that would destroy her. Kayla understood now why Maya flinched sometimes, why she wore long sleeves in summer, why she always seemed relieved when Kayla came home from work. She understood everything, and she knew exactly what she had to do. She didn't confront her father, didn't text him, didn't call, didn't give him a single moment to prepare or explain or lie. She took screenshots of every image on the iPad, sent them to her own email, then deleted the sent folder so the activity wouldn't show. She picked up her phone, charged just enough, and called the Plano Police Department. I need to report child abuse. My father has been hurting my little sister. I have evidence. Detective Sergeant Angela Matthews had worked the Crimes Against Children unit for 11 years. 11 years of cases that would break most people. 11 years of learning to compartmentalize horror so she could function as an investigator. 11 years of believing that every child deserved someone who would fight for them. She received Kayla's call at 4:23 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. I need to report child abuse. My father has been hurting my little sister. I have evidence. The voice on the other end was steady, young but controlled. The voice of someone who had already processed the initial shock and moved into action mode. Matthews had heard hundreds of these calls. This one was different. The caller wasn't emotional. She was strategic. "What's your name?" "Kayla Thornton. I'm 18. My sister Maya is 10. My father is Gregory Thornton. I found photographs on my sister's iPad. She's been documenting injuries. Where are you now?" "At home. My father is at work until 6. Maya is at soccer practice until 5. Is your father's name on the iPad account?" "No. It's Maya's school iPad. Plano ISD issued it. The account is in her name with a school email." "Smart." Matthews noted it. The evidence wouldn't be complicated by shared device access. "Can you send me the photographs you found?" "I already took screenshots. I can email them now." Within 4 minutes, Matthews was reviewing the images on her screen. Bruises, welts, injuries consistent with physical abuse. Timestamps spanning 3 months. Every timestamp correlated to hours when, according to Kayla, she was at work and Maya was home alone with their father. "Kayla, I need you to do something important. Can you check Maya for current injuries when she gets home?" "Yes. If you see any fresh marks, photograph them with your phone. Include something that shows the date, a newspaper, a TV screen with the date visible, anything that establishes when the photo was taken." "I understand. Don't confront your father. Don't let him know anything is wrong. Can you do that?" A pause. Matthews could hear the weight of it. "I can do it. For Maya." "Good. I'm going to start the process for a warrant. Stay by your phone." "And Kayla?" "Yes. You're doing the right thing. This is exactly what your sister needs you to do." Matthews hung up and began the paperwork. Emergency petition to the court. Evidence of ongoing abuse. Minor child in immediate danger. Request for expedited search warrant and arrest warrant. The photographs alone were sufficient. 47 images documenting a pattern of abuse over 3 months. Timestamps establishing a predictable pattern. Injuries occurring when the alleged abuser was alone with the victim. But Matthews wanted more. She wanted the case to be airtight. She called Child Protective Services. Coordinated a joint response. Arranged for a forensic interviewer at the Children's Advocacy Center. Then she called Kayla back. "We're moving forward. I need you to do a few things tonight. First, secure the iPad. Don't let your father know you've seen anything. Second, if Maya has any current injuries, document them like I told you. Third, act normal. Can you do that?" "I've been acting normal since my mom died. I can do it for one more night." Matthews heard the steel in her voice. 18 years old. Carrying a family. Now carrying evidence that would destroy it. "Tomorrow morning, we execute the warrant. We'll arrest your father at work so Maya doesn't have to see it. We'll take you and Maya to the Advocacy Center for interviews. Do you have somewhere you both can stay?" Sergeant Michael Torres arrived in 11 minutes. Patrol supervisor. 18 years on the force. The kind of veteran who could assess a disaster the moment he saw it. He found his officers surrounded by witnesses. A black man in civilian clothes holding a phone. The gathered crowd recording everything. "What's going on here?" Wells spoke before Morrison could answer. "Sergeant, I'm District Attorney Raymond Wells, San Bernardino County. Your officers approached me while I was loading groceries and claimed I matched a description for credit card fraud at this location." Torres's expression tightened. "DA Wells." "Yes. And I can tell from your reaction you're starting to understand the problem. There was no call. There was no fraud report. Officer Morrison fabricated the entire pretext." Torres turned to Morrison. "Is this true? Did we get a call about fraud at this location?" I received information." "From whom?" Morrison couldn't answer. Because there was no answer. Torres pulled his radio. "Dispatch, this is Sergeant Torres. Did we receive any calls about credit card fraud at the Target on Foothill Boulevard in the last 2 hours?" The response crackled through. "Negative, Sergeant. No fraud calls at that location today." The confirmation hung in the afternoon air. No call. No crime. No legitimate basis for the stop. Wells nodded slowly. "I want Officer Morrison's bodycam footage preserved immediately. Officer Reeves's footage as well. I want the dispatch logs for the entire afternoon pulled and secured. And I want an internal affairs investigation opened before end of shift." Torres was already nodding. "Yes, sir. Of course. I also want the Target's security footage preserved. And I want someone to confirm with the store that no fraud was reported. I'll handle it personally." Wells looked at Morrison. "Officer Morrison, you fabricated probable cause to conduct an unlawful detention. You lied about receiving a call. You targeted me based on my race and my vehicle. Your body cam captured everything. Your partner's body cam captured everything. The witnesses captured everything. He paused. I've prosecuted 47 officers for misconduct. You're going to be 48. Morrison's face had gone gray. The particular pallor of someone understanding the full scope of their mistake. Sir, I thought. Don't say anything else. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you exercise it. Anything you say will be used in your prosecution. Wells turned to Torres. Sergeant, I'll need your contact information. Your Internal Affairs Division will need mine. And I'll be filing a formal complaint before I leave this parking lot. Adrian stepped forward. Raymond, are you all right? I'm fine. Just doing what I've done for 24 years. She looked at the officers. At her husband. At the witnesses still recording. Should I call someone? No. The calls have been made. What happens next is procedure. The procedure had begun. The evidence was secured. The investigation was opening. And Officer Tyler Morrison stood in a Target parking lot, understanding that his career had ended the moment he invented a crime to justify harassing a black man at a nice car. The Internal Affairs investigation moved with the urgency reserved for cases involving elected officials and documented evidence. Officer Morrison's bodycam footage was reviewed within hours. The approach, the fabricated claim, the refusal to verify, the reach for handcuffs. You match the description of someone who just used a stolen credit card inside that store. Officer Reeves's bodycam provided the wide angle. Wells at his trunk. Morrison approaching. The moment of identification. I'm District Attorney Raymond Wells. I prosecute cops for a living. The dispatch logs confirmed what Wells already knew. No call had been made about credit card fraud at the Target. No crime had been reported. No description existed. Morrison had invented everything. Target's security footage was obtained and reviewed. It showed Wells entering the store at 1:47 p.m., shopping for 31 minutes, checking out at Register 7, paying with Apple Pay, transaction confirmed, receipt generated, no flags in the system. No fraud. No theft. No crime of any kind. Morrison's personnel file revealed the pattern that should have been addressed years earlier. 11 prior complaints during his 3 years on the force. 7 from minority citizens alleging pretextual stops. 4 from supervisors noting aggressive approach to citizen contacts. His stop data painted a damning picture. During his 3 years, Morrison had conducted 127 discretionary stops. 70% had targeted minority citizens. His colleagues averaged 34% minority stops in the same patrol areas. The disparity was statistically significant. The pattern was clear. Text messages subpoenaed from his phone completed the evidence. 2:15 p.m., Morrison to friend. About to go fishing in the Target lot. Always good spots there. 2:28 p.m., Morrison to same friend. Holy shit. Stopped the wrong one. Some diet. 2:31 p.m., Morrison to same friend. I'm fucked. The phrase go fishing appeared in Morrison's communications 23 times over 3 years. Each instance preceded a stop. Each stop targeted a minority citizen. Officer Reeves was interviewed separately. His cooperation began immediately. Did Officer Morrison receive any call about credit card fraud? Not that I heard. Did he explain why he was approaching the subject? He said it looked like a good stop. Did you activate your body cam before or after the approach? Before. Standard procedure. Why didn't you intervene when he made false statements? Silence. I should have. I didn't. The FBI Civil Rights Division was notified within 72 hours. The fabrication of probable cause to conduct a racially motivated stop triggered federal interest. The federal grand jury convened 8 weeks after the incident. Indictments, civil rights violations, deprivation of rights under color of law, false imprisonment, filing false reports, conduct unbecoming. Officer Tyler Morrison would face prosecution by the federal government, not by DA Wells, who had properly recused himself to avoid any appearance of personal involvement. But the case file would bear his name as victim, and the 48th officer would learn what 47 had learned before him. The federal courtroom in Riverside drew significant attention. A district attorney stopped for fabricated credit card fraud. The prosecutor known as the cop's nightmare, becoming victim 48. DA Wells testified on the 3rd day. He wore the same suit he wore to court every day, the uniform of his profession, the authority of his office. I was loading groceries into my car when Officer Morrison approached. He claimed I matched a description for credit card fraud at the Target. Was there any such description? No. The investigation confirmed no call was ever made. No fraud was reported. The entire pretext was fabricated. What happened when you identified yourself? Officer Morrison froze. His hand was on his handcuffs. He had been about to arrest me for a crime that didn't exist. The bodycam footage played. The jury watched Morrison approach. Watched Wells remain calm. Watched the moment of identification. I'm District Attorney Raymond Wells. I prosecute cops for a living. The search warrant yielded everything investigators needed. Gregory Thornton's home office contained a laptop with deleted files that forensics recovered within hours. Additional photographs of Maya's injuries, taken by Thornton himself. Timestamps matching incidents Maya described in her interview. He had been documenting his own abuse. The psychology was familiar to investigators. Control. Power. The impulse to preserve evidence of dominance. The same pattern seen in dozens of similar cases. His phone contained text messages to Maya during school hours. Remember what happens if you tell anyone. You know the rules. Be home by 3:30. Don't make me angry tonight. The digital trail proved what Maya's photographs had suggested. Systematic, premeditated abuse. Not anger management issues. Not discipline gone too far. Deliberate cruelty inflicted on a child who had no one to tell. Except she did have someone. Maya's forensic interview lasted 90 minutes. The specialist used anatomically correct dolls and drawings to help the 10-year-old describe what had happened without requiring explicit verbal recounts. The interview corroborated every image on the iPad. He hits me when Kayla is at work. Always wear my clothes cover. He said if I told Kayla, he would hurt her too. I didn't want him to hurt Kayla. The protection Maya had tried to provide for her big sister. The silence she had maintained out of love. Medical examination at Children's Medical Center documented the physical evidence. The fresh bruise Kayla had photographed. Older injuries in various stages of healing. A pattern consistent with repeated physical trauma over an extended period. The examining physician's report estimated 18 to 24 months of abuse. Since approximately 1 year after their mother's death. Thornton had waited. Let the grief settle. Let Kayla assume more responsibilities. Created opportunities by establishing routines that left him alone with Maya. Calculated. Patient. Predatory. Kayla's grandmother, Patricia Williams, 64 years old, retired teacher, arrived at the advocacy center within 2 hours of being called. I knew something was wrong. She said it to Detective Matthews while Kayla held Maya in the waiting room. I tried to get custody after my daughter died. Gregory fought it. Said the girls needed stability. Said they needed to stay in their home, their school, their routine. Did you observe any signs of abuse? Maya was always quiet when Gregory was around. I thought it was grief. I thought she was just missing her mother. I should have pushed harder. The grandmother's guilt mirrored Kayla's. The people who loved Maya, blaming themselves for what they couldn't have known. Mrs. Williams, you're here now. That's what matters. Kayla called us. Maya is safe. The person responsible is in custody. What happens to him? He'll be charged with injury to a child, aggravated assault, and continuous abuse of a minor. Given the evidence, he's looking at significant prison time. Good. The word was cold. Final. A grandmother's judgment on the man who had hurt her grandchild. Kayla petitioned for emergency custody of Maya that afternoon. 18 years old. Legal adult. Capable of providing care. Her grandmother would serve as co-guardian until Kayla completed her nursing degree. The judge granted temporary custody within 48 hours. The sisters would stay together. Gregory Thornton's trial began 4 months after his arrest. The prosecution's case was built on evidence, not emotion. 47 photographs from Maya's iPad. Recovered files from Thornton's laptop. Text messages establishing a pattern of threats and control. Medical documentation of injuries. Forensic interview testimony from Maya herself, presented via closed-circuit video so she wouldn't have to face her abuser in the courtroom. Kayla testified on the second day. I found the photographs on my sister's school iPad. I was looking for a recipe. I found evidence that my father had been hurting her. What did you do when you discovered the photographs? I documented everything. I photographed my sister's current injuries. I called the Plano Police Department. I cooperated with Detective Matthews to build a case. Why didn't you confront your father? Because I wanted to make sure he could never hurt her again. I knew that if I warned him, He might destroy evidence or pressure Maya to stay silent. I wanted to do it right. How did that make you feel, knowing what your father had done? Kayla paused. The courtroom waited. I felt like I had failed her. I was supposed to protect her. I was right there, in the same house, and I didn't see what was happening. But you're the one who discovered the evidence. You're the one who reported it. I know, but I'll always wonder what I missed. What I could have done sooner. The defense attempted to challenge the evidence. Claimed the photographs could have been self-inflicted. Suggested Kayla had fabricated the discovery to gain custody. Argued that Maya's interview had been coached. The prosecution dismantled each claim methodically. The medical examiner testified that the injury patterns were inconsistent with self-harm. The forensic interviewer explained the protocols that prevented coaching. Digital forensics proved the photographs had been taken on Maya's iPad over a 3-month period. Timestamps verified through cloud backup records. And the recovered files from Thornton's laptop provided the final evidence. Photographs he had taken himself. Angles that could only come from the perpetrator. Timestamps that matched Maya's documented injuries. He had created his own evidence file. The jury deliberated for 90 minutes. Guilty. Continuous abuse of a minor. Guilty. Injury to a child. Guilty. Aggravated assault. Thornton showed no emotion as the verdicts were read. The mask of normalcy he had worn for years remained fixed. The performance of innocence continuing even after the jury had seen through it. Sentencing followed 6 weeks later. The judge reviewed the evidence. The pattern. The duration. The betrayal of a child who had no one to turn to except a sister who discovered the truth by accident. Mr. Thornton, you abused a position of absolute trust. You harmed a child who depended on you for protection. You weaponized her love for her sister to ensure her silence. You have shown no remorse and offered no explanation. The sentence, 25 years in state prison. No parole eligibility for 15 years. Thornton was led from the courtroom in handcuffs. Kayla watched from the gallery. Maya wasn't present. She had asked not to come, and everyone had agreed it was for the best. 25 years. Her father would be 73 when he was eligible for release. She would be 43. Maya would be 35. Old enough to have built lives without him. Old enough to have healed. Old enough to have become whoever they wanted to be. Patricia Williams had tried to get custody after her daughter died. 3 years of calls. 3 years of visits. 3 years of watching her granddaughters and feeling something was wrong without being able to name it. He was always so careful around me. She said it to the victim's advocate after the trial. An attempt to process the guilt that clung despite the verdict. When I visited, everything seemed fine. Kayla was holding everything together. Maya was quiet, but I thought that was grief. I thought she was missing her mother. Abusers are skilled at hiding their behavior. They create environments where disclosure is impossible. He used Kayla as a threat, told Maya that if she said anything, he would hurt her sister. That's why Maya kept quiet. She was protecting Kayla. The terrible irony. A 10-year-old enduring abuse to protect an 18-year-old who would have done anything to stop it. Patricia's home in Richardson became the new center of the family. Kayla enrolled at UT Arlington, an hour's commute, but she refused to leave Maya. She worked part-time, attended classes part-time, and spent every available moment with her sister. The nursing program would take 4 years instead of 2. She didn't care. Maya needed her. Therapy began immediately. Play therapy for Maya. Individual counseling for Kayla. Family sessions for both of them together. The therapist specialized in childhood trauma. She explained what Kayla had observed without understanding. Maya documented her own abuse because she had no other outlet. Children often create evidence when they can't verbalize what's happening. It was her way of saying, this is real, even if she couldn't say it out loud. Why didn't she show me? Because your father had made her believe that telling you would put you in danger. She was protecting you the only way she knew how. The weight of that knowledge settled differently now. Not guilt, not exactly. Something more like awe. Maya's strength. Maya's love. Maya's courage in documenting what she couldn't speak. She saved herself, Kayla said. You both saved each other. She kept the evidence. You found it and knew what to do with it. Neither of you could have done it alone. Patricia established a foundation 6 months after the trial. The Sarah Thornton Foundation, named after the girl's mother, dedicated to supporting survivors of child abuse and providing resources for siblings who discovered evidence of harm. The foundation's first project, training for school counselors on recognizing signs of hidden abuse. The second, a legal fund to help family members petition for custody when children were in danger. Kayla served on the board despite her age. Her testimony became part of the training materials. Her story, told with Maya's permission, helped other siblings understand what to look for. The iPad that had revealed everything was donated to the Foundation's archives, an artifact of how technology could expose secrets abusers believed were hidden. Maya kept the elephant. Some things you don't give away. 2 years after the trial, Maya Thornton gave a speech. 12 years old now. 7th grade. Honor roll. Starting midfielder on her school soccer team. The speech was for a school assembly on child safety awareness. Her therapist had helped her prepare it. Kayla had reviewed every word. My name is Maya. When I was 10, someone was hurting me. I didn't know how to tell anyone, so I took pictures of my injuries and hid them on my iPad. I thought no one would ever find them. The auditorium was silent. 200 students, 40 teachers and staff. My big sister found them. She didn't yell at me. She didn't blame me. She called the police. And now I'm safe. She looked at the audience. 12 years old and stronger than most adults. If someone is hurting you, it's not your fault. You're not in trouble. There are people who can help. You just have to find one person you trust. One person who will believe you. For me, that was my sister. For you, it might be someone else. But they're out there. I promise. Kayla watched from the back of the auditorium. Tears streaming. Pride overwhelming the grief. Her sister, standing at a podium, telling her story to help other kids who might be suffering in silence. 2 years of therapy. 2 years of nightmares. 2 years of rebuilding what their father had broken. And here was Maya. Not just surviving. Thriving. Detective Matthews attended the assembly. She had stayed in touch. Birthday cards, occasional check-ins, the quiet support of an investigator who had seen too many cases end badly. She's remarkable, Matthews said to Kayla afterward. She always was. I just didn't see it. You saw it when it mattered. You found those photographs, and you did exactly the right thing. Most adults wouldn't have handled it as well as you did. I did what I had to do. For her. Kayla graduated from UT Arlington's nursing program 3 years later. Maya was 15 then. High school freshman, still playing soccer, still in therapy, still healing. Gregory Thornton remained in state prison. His appeals had been denied. His parole would not be considered for another decade. He had written letters to both daughters. Neither had opened them. Some bridges burned completely. Kayla worked as a pediatric nurse at Children's Medical Center, the same hospital where Maya had been examined after the arrest. She specialized in recognizing signs of abuse. The training she had received became the lens through which she saw every patient. You're good at this, her supervisor told her. I know what to look for. Maya visited the hospital once, saw where her sister worked, understood, in a way she couldn't fully articulate, the thread that connected her own survival to the children Kayla now helped protect. You found me, she said that day. Now you find them. Kayla nodded. Every time. The case file remains in Collin County records. Case number 2025 CR 01847. Subject, continuous abuse of a minor, injury to a child, aggravated assault. Location, Plano, Texas. Outcome, conviction, 25 years state prison. No parole eligibility for 15 years. Custody transferred to sister and grandmother. Victim receiving ongoing support. Principle established. Children keep secrets because they think they have to. Siblings find evidence because they're paying attention. And sometimes, a borrowed iPad and a hidden folder can save a life. Kayla Thornton proved that principle the only way available. By finding what was hidden. By calling for help. By building a case instead of confronting a monster. By protecting her sister, finally, completely, forever. The iPad sits in the Foundation's archives now. The elephant still sleeps in Maya's bed. And 2 sisters, bound by trauma and survival and love, continue building the lives their mother would have wanted. Some stories end with sentencing. Some stories end with healing. This one ends with both.
Facts are preserved in the records. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to stay connected to the vault.